As I said before, prosperity is the wrong teaching when it comes to God. It's nothing, I don't guess it's wrong for a man to prosper. I want to prosper. I'm talking about materialistic, okay? Or to have money or whatever, because it's a necessity, something that we need to survive on. But that's not the gospel, where Jesus said, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel. Jesus said he reigns on the just as reigns on the unjust as well as the just. God gonna feed you. If he feed the sparrow, he'll feed you. He's not an unjust God because you're in sin or you're living wrong that you're not gonna be able to eat. You can't drive a car. You can't live in a house. No, no. These are deception by the devil. And we're gonna look at the scriptures again. We going back into it again. We're going over some of this prosperity stuff. Now the thing is, oh, God wants us to prosper. God wants us to have this, and God wants us to. God, some of them say, God wants you rich. Big mega churches. God wants us rich. Don't come telling me nothing about that Old Testament. The Old Testament was a shadow of the real thing to come. God used the Jews. He blessed them naturally, prosperity. But we're under a new covenant now. We're under a new covenant. The Jews brought the seed to the promised land. Okay? Now, Jesus had given us the seed. We're to bring it into heaven. And it said, Jesus said, woman, the hour has come when the true worshipers must worship God in spirit and truth. Hey, that's not going to make you a poor man if you don't preach the gospel. If you don't preach prosperity, that shouldn't be in your message. Your message is supposed, there's too much in this Bible to be preaching prosperity. You're gonna eat. It's just a deception. It's the wrong message. Let's look at this Santa Claus. Jesus is supposed to be a Santa Claus. Okay, look in the book of Luke, the 12th chapter. This is Jesus speaking. What did Jesus say? This Jesus that wants you rich, this Jesus that died on the cross, that went through all this humiliation, this Jesus that suffered on the cross, this Jesus that it took 42 generations for God to send into the world that you could ride around in a nice car and prosper and be in health even though your soul prosper. What kind of message you got for these rich rappers and Oprah Winfrey and all of them? They got all the wealth they need. There's no message for them. Okay. The 13th chapter, Luke, the 12th chapter and the 13th verse. Read.
Luke 12, chapter 13, verse. And one of the company said,
And one of the company that was with Jesus said unto him,
Master,
speak
to my brother, that he divide the inheritance with me.
Okay, I had 11 sisters and brothers. Mother and father died and left 2 houses. We all inherited that house. And if any one of those houses, if any one of the brothers, we could bring them to court, and we could have brought them to court because that's rightfully ours. If that would have been me, I would have said, look, I'm going to talk to your brother, okay? I'm going to make sure your brother give you your rightfully share. But what did Jesus say?
And he said unto him,
Jesus, the man that wants you to prosper. And he said unto him,
man.
Jesus said, man.
Who made me a judge or a divider over
you?
Who
made me a judge or a divider over you?
And he said unto them, Take heed. And beware of covetousness. For a man's life.
Look what I had to go through a few minutes ago, because they'll think you're stupid. You see, you have to explain. Well, it's all right to get a little money. It's all right to do this. But listen, this should be enough right here. But I haven't explained all that to you like that. Read.
Beware of covetousness.
Jesus said, beware of covetousness.
For a man's life.
A covetousness it goes a little further than covet. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. I don't want what my neighbor got because God has blessed me with this and that. Covetousness is greed, greedy, wanting. Paul said, let your conversation be without covetousness. Not long go preach it. Read.
A man's life.
A man's life
consists not in the abundance of the things which he possessed.
Read that over again.
And he said unto them,
read.
Take heed.
Take heed.
And beware of covetousness.
Beware of covetousness.
For a man's life.
For a man's life.
Consists not in the abundance of the things which he possessed.
Why should you have Volkswagen faith when you could have Cadillac faith? That's the devil talking. Read.
And he spake a parable unto them,
and
saying.
He spoke a parable unto them, saying.
The ground of a certain rich man.
The ground of a certain rich man.
Brought forth plentiful.
It brought forth plentifully. See, they think that when you got a lot of riches and you ride up with a Mercedes or a Bentley and all that, you walking with God. Living in a $3 million house. What you need with a $3 million house and ain't got but a little couple of years to live anyway? You're going to give all what Jesus said, go the way to prepare a place for you. You're going to give that up to live and to prosper for a little season, then go to hell. You know that's a deception. You know that's a trick of the devil. Read.
And he brought within himself, saying, he thought within himself,
his ground brought forth plentifully.
What shall I do?
What shall I do?
Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits.
While I'm banking and it's this credit union. I got so much money has come in. I'm going to take my money out the credit union. I'm going to put it into the bank. Read.
And he said
unto him,
This will I do.
This will I do.
I'll pull down my bonds.
I'm going to take my money out that little old credit union. Read.
I will pull down my bonds.
I'm going to pull down my bonds.
And build greater.
And I'm going to build greater.
And there will I bestow.
I'm going to bestow all my
fruits and my goods.
Yeah, when I finish prospering, I'm going to have me a jet.
And I will say to my soul.
And I'm going to say to my soul. Soul.
Thou hast much good.
Now this is Jesus. That want people rich. Yes.
Thou hast much good.
You have much good.
Laid up for many years. Take thine ease.
Take it easy.
Eat. Drink. And be merry. But God said unto him.
But God said to the man.
Thou fool.
You fool. This night.
Thine soul shall be required of thee.
You're going to die tonight, boy.
Then who shall
You're going to die tonight. Be? Now all that you done labored for, who shall those things be for you?
Which thou hast provided.
Which you have provided.
So is he that laid up treasure for himself.
No.
And is not rich toward God.
This is not. Am I reading the wrong Bible? Is this Matthew? Is this Luke? Is this the King James Version? Is this the Gospel Bible? No. Is this the Holy Bible that they all preach? No. That's another Jesus. Paul said, though we are an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which you have heard, let him be accursed. Look in the book of Romans right quick. Romans, the 16th chapter, the 17th verse. Read it.
Romans 16 chapter 17 verse. Now I beseech you, brethren.
And I beseech mean beg. I beg you, brethren.
Mark them.
Mark them. Mark them. Mark them.
Which cause division.
Which cause division.
And offenses.
Now those that preach this heavy prosperity stuff, that's a division from God. We just read. You're making a division. Read. Now I beseech you, brother, mark them which cause division.
And offenses.
And offenses.
Contrary to the doctrine. Which you have learned.
And what did he say do with them?
And avoid them.
Avoid them. Why? Read.
For they that are such.
For they that are such.
Serve not our Lord Jesus
They
Christ.
serve not our Lord Jesus Christ.
But their own bellies.
But their own bellies.
And by good words.
And by good words.
And fair speeches.
And fair speeches.
Deceive the hearts of the simple.
Deceive the hearts of the simple. And they set up so silly. All they own, they earn, pay, they bring it up and they throw it down at the man's feet. Man running around in Bentleys and Cadillacs and Rolls Royces, and you throwing it at his feet, living in $1 million house, and you going to Church's Chicken and get your food. Oh, how simple can they be? Look in the book of Timothy. Mark them. 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter. The 3rd verse.
1 Timothy 6:3.
Read.
If any man teach otherwise. And consent not to the wholesome words.
Consent not to wholesome words.
Even the words of our Lord
Even the words of our Lord Jesus Christ.
And to the doctrine which according to godliness.
Godliness. Read. Money got nothing to do with godliness. Read.
He is proud.
The man is proud.
Knowing nothing.
He knows nothing.
But doubting about questions. And strife. Of words.
God do want you to prosper. Y'all always preaching poor. That's why you're poor. Read.
Whereof cometh.
Envy. Strife. Railing.
Evil submission.
Read.
Perverse. Disputing of men.
Of corrupt minds.
And destituted of
they are destituted of the truth.
Supposing that gain.
Why are they destituted of the truth? Read.
Supposing that gain.
They suppose that because they serve God, they suppose that gain is godliness. I should have a $3 million house. I should have a jet. I should have a limousine. I should have a Bentley. I should have $1 million in the bank. Read. From such.
Withdraw thyself.
Withdraw yourself. Get away from him. Over in Romans said, Malcolm.
But godliness. With contentment. Is great gain.
That's great gain. Contentment. What Jesus said, Paul said, I have learned to be content. Paul, the Apostle Paul, one of the greatest apostles back there, he said, I have learned to be content, whatever state that I'm in. Paul even going further to say, laboring with your own hand, that you could have to give it to him that need it, not to yourself, but to him that need it. Okay? Read.
For we brought nothing into this world. And it is certain.
It's certain.
We can carry nothing
out. They can find all of scripture where the Bible said, brother, and I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prosper. They ain't talking about no money. Your carnal mind think like that. Got to cut off. God bless you.
Oh, you didn't want Evan food and raiment. Let us be.